They weren't just country singers. They were firestorms in sequins, heartbreakers in high heels, and rebels in rhinestones. These women broke the rules, lived on their own terms, and left Nashville buzzing with whispers it couldn't contain. Affairs, rumors, scandals, and songs that dared to say what others wouldn't. This is the untold side of country music history. Here are the 20 most promiscuous women of old country music. Number 20, Crystal Gayle. Crystal Gayle didn't need to shout or stir drama to draw attention. With hair that swept the floor and a voice as soft as silk, she exuded mystery everywhere she went. But behind her angelic presence, her music carried undertones of intimacy that made people wonder. Her hit Talking in Your Sleep didn't sound like fiction. It sounded like confession. Who was whispering in their sleep, and what secrets were being revealed? Industry insiders gossiped about lingering glances after concerts, quiet dinners that weren't just business meeting, and her natural allure that left men restless. She never confirmed anything, but she never denied it either. Her power was in making the audience believe there was more to her than met the eye, and refusing to ever let them find out. Number 19, Jeannie C. Riley. The moment Jeannie stepped onto the stage in her infamous miniskirt and boots, Nashville gasped. She looked like trouble wrapped in a church hymn. Then she sang Harper Valley PTA, a scorching takedown of small-town hypocrisy, exposing secret affairs and whispered scandals. Audiences wondered, was she simply telling a story or airing out her own neighbor's laundry? Jeannie became a lightning rod. Preachers condemned her, men pursued her, and women copied her style while secretly fearing her power. She had late-night calls that went unanswered, fans who swore she was too wild to settle, and critics who hated how much she enjoyed making them uncomfortable. Jeannie never apologized. She thrived on it. And every time she smirked into the microphone, it was as if she was saying, "Yes, I know exactly what you're thinking." Number 18, Tammy Wynette. To the world, Tammy was the first lady of country music. To Nashville's gossip mills, she was heartbreak personified. Stand By Your Man may have sounded like loyalty, but in reality, it was Tammy singing her truth, staying with men who broke her heart again and again. She married 5 times, each union messier than the last. Her love affair with George Jones was legendary, passionate, and violent, fueled by love, liquor, and chaos. Behind the glamour, Tammy battled addiction, scandal, and whispers of late-night affairs. She loved recklessly, forgave too quickly, and carried wounds the public never saw. Every tear in her voice was real, and every man who heard her became part of her legend. Nashville called it promiscuity. Tammy called it survival. Number 17, Wanda Jackson. In the 1950s, when women were expected to smile sweetly and sing about innocence, Wanda Jackson kicked the door down. Tight skirts, fringe that swung with every move, and a voice that dripped with rebellion. She made country mothers nervous and country fathers curious. Her romance with Elvis Presley wasn't just gossip. It was proof that Wanda didn't play by the rules. On stage, her song Let's Have a Party wasn't a request. It was a dare. Offstage, the rumors piled up. Late nights, wild gigs, and friendships with musicians that stretched beyond the music. Wanda didn't bother correcting anyone. She wanted to shock them. She was the queen of rockabilly, but more importantly, she was the first woman in country who proved being bad could be very, very good. Number 16, Barbara Fairchild. Barbara's face was pure innocence, and her voice softer than a lullaby. But the sweetness was misleading. Her famous teddy bear song painted her as fragile. But Nashville insiders told a different story. Rumors of whispered phone calls, mysterious love letters, and men showing up backstage who weren't her husband followed her everywhere. She dodged questions with grace, but her eyes always hinted at secrets untold. When she sang of heartbreak, it didn't sound like acting. It sounded like memory. She didn't flaunt scandal, but she didn't hide the ache of her choices either. Barbara was a master of suggestion, leaving everyone wondering if the rumors were true. And that mystery was more dangerous than any confession. Number 15, June Carter. Cash. Long before she became Mrs. Johnny Cash, June Carter was already captivating audiences. Funny, charming, and bold, she could silence a room with a glance. But her connection with Johnny Cash wasn't just chemistry on stage. It was passion that smoldered for years. At the time, he was married. She was married. But their pull toward each other was undeniable. They spent years orbiting one another before finally giving in. When Johnny dropped to one knee on stage, it wasn't a fairy tale. It was the culmination of years of whispered temptation. June had been married twice before, and she carried the kind of wisdom that made men fall in love and fear her in equal measure. Her scandal wasn't in what she admitted. It was in what she never denied. Number 14, Margot Smith. Margot Smith was once the quiet soprano of Nashville, a safe, traditional star. But in 1979, she shattered her own image with Still a Woman. It was a song about aging, longing, and desire, a subject country music avoided like the plague. Suddenly, this once conservative singer was wearing clingy dresses, cutting her hair, and belting out truths no one wanted to hear. Nashville called her desperate. Critics branded her shameless. Fans? They couldn't stop talking. Margot never paraded affairs in public, but she didn't need to. By daring to say that women over 40 still had passion, she lit a firestorm that made her promiscuous in the eyes of an industry that wanted her silent. Margot proved that honesty could be just as scandalous as sin. Number 13, Jessie Coulter. Jessie didn't beg for attention. She commanded it. As the queen of the outlaw movement, standing beside Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, and Johnny Cash, she wasn't just one of the guys. She outshone them. Men were obsessed with her. Women envied her. She moved through Nashville with mystery and magnetism. And songs like I'm Not Lisa hinted at heartbreaks no one could quite decode. Rumors of late-night rendezvous and passionate nights followed her. But Jessie never confirmed, never denied. She thrived on uncertainty. She was untouchable, and that only made her more irresistible. Number 12, Dolly Parton. Dolly built her empire on wit, talent, and an image that fooled everyone. She played the blonde bombshell, but behind the rhinestones was one of the sharpest minds in music. Her marriage to Carl Dean was famously private, which only fueled the rumors swirling around her. Co-stars, affairs, secret heartbreaks. Dolly teased audiences with songs dripping in temptation, then winked and walked away before they could ask questions. She used her looks to make people underestimate her, while she built an empire no man could break. Was she promiscuous? Or was she just the smartest woman Nashville ever underestimated? Number 11, Patsy Cline. Patsy was fire wrapped in lipstick. Her voice cracked with heartbreak because she lived it. Wild nights, lovers who came and went, and choices that left gossip in her wake. She lit cigarettes like weapons and sang like she didn't care who got burned. Married young, restless by nature, and always chasing passion. Patsy carried herself like a woman who didn't owe anyone an explanation. She wasn't afraid to live openly, and she wasn't afraid to be judged. Nashville clutched its pearls. Patsy laughed in its face. Number 10, Loretta Lynn. Loretta Lynn turned her own pain into the sharpest lyrics country had ever heard. Married at 15, raising 4 kids before she even recorded her first song, Loretta had already lived through everything she sang about. The Pill, Don't Come Home A-Drinkin', Fist City. She forced country radio to choke on subjects like cheating, birth control, and betrayal. Critics branded her loose just for daring to speak the truth. Loretta wasn't promiscuous in her personal life, but her lyrics made her more dangerous than any affair ever could. She dared to say what women were living, and Nashville never forgave her for it. Number 9, Barbara Mandrell. Barbara was America's sweetheart, polished, glamorous, and family-friendly. But underneath the sequins was a woman who knew exactly how to seduce without ever crossing the line. Her variety show beamed into living rooms nationwide, balancing wholesome charm with just enough flirtation to keep people whispering. Her hit, Sleeping Single, in a double bed, dripped with a longing, and Barbara performed it with a wink that said she understood the subtext. Critics didn't need evidence of affairs to call her promiscuous. Her stage presence alone was enough to keep tongues wagging. Number 8, Bobbie Gentry. Bobbie was country music's greatest mystery. With songs like Ode to Billie Jo and Fancy, she sang stories that felt like confessions, dripping with sin and seduction. Men followed her backstage like moths to a flame, but no one ever revealed what happened when the doors closed. Then, at the height of her fame, she vanished. No farewell tour, no tabloid meltdown, just silence. Bobbie left fans haunted, and Nashville wondering what secrets she took with her. Number 7, Connie Smith. Connie Smith's voice was so pure it could make a grown man cry. But behind the angelic tone was a woman whose love life kept Nashville buzzing. Married multiple times, she finally shocked the industry by marrying Marty Stewart, decades her junior, a man who had once been just a boy in awe of her backstage. Connie never flaunted scandal, but her quiet sadness and forbidden romance gave her an allure stronger than any headline. Sometimes heartbreak is the greatest seduction of all. Number 6, Billie Jo Spears. With blanket on the ground, Billie Jo dared to sing openly about desire, intimacy, and passion in marriage. But whispers said the passion wasn't always confined to her songs. Rumors swirled that she had lovers in every city her tour bus stopped. Her tight dresses, smoky glances, and sultry lyrics fueled the fire. Billie Jo never corrected anyone. She let the gossip sell her records. On stage, she leaned into the mic like it was a secret lover. Off stage, she let Nashville wonder. Number 5, Tanya Tucker. By 13, Tanya Tucker was already famous. By 15, she was already scandalous. Her fiery affair with Glenn Campbell was the talk of Nashville. Passionate, toxic, and impossible to ignore. Tanya didn't care. While others played the part of the good girl, Tanya smoked, drank, and sang lyrics that made parents clutch their kids tighter. Her life was chaos, her choices unapologetic. Tanya didn't just break the rules, she rewrote them. Number 4, Reba McEntire. Reba McEntire's heartbreak ballads made fans swear she lived through every lyric she sang. And maybe she did. After 20 years of marriage, her shocking divorce set off rumors of infidelity, affairs, and betrayals that fans dissected for years. Reba never gave them answers. Instead, she poured it all into her music, delivering anthems of heartbreak and survival. Was she promiscuous? Maybe. Or maybe she was just brave enough to turn her scars into chart-topping songs. Number 3, Kitty Wells. She wasn't caught in an affair, she wasn't photographed with lovers. But in 1952, Kitty Wells did something far more dangerous. She sang it wasn't God who made honky-tonk angels, a direct challenge to the men blaming women for infidelity. Nashville was outraged. They called her immoral, scandalous, even dangerous. But Kitty didn't flinch. Her quiet defiance opened the door for every other woman on this list. Promiscuity wasn't always in the bedroom. Sometimes it was in the courage to speak. Number 2, Dottie West. Dottie West shimmered in sequins, golden hair, and songs dripping with seduction. She loved freely and demanded love in return. Too many marriages, too many lovers, too many nights of whispered gossip. Dottie didn't care. She carried herself with an independence that terrified men and fascinated women. Her life was passion set to music, and her legend proves that desire never needed apology. Number 1, Lynn Anderson. Her hit Rose Garden painted her as a sweet country girl, but Lynn Anderson's real life was much stormier. She lived boldly, a string of passionate romances, brushes with the law, and scandals that kept tabloids busy for decades. She was elegance on stage, chaos off it. Nashville never knew whether to crown her or condemn her, but one thing was certain. Lynn Anderson wasn't just singing about freedom. She was living it, recklessly and unapologetically. These women weren't just country stars. They were rebels, temptresses, heartbreakers, and survivors. Nashville branded them promiscuous, but history remembers them as women who refused to be silent. Which one shocked you the most? Drop your answer in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe for more untold scandals from the dark side of country music.